Hey y'all, it's your Queen Scarlett coming through right quick, right fast with some musical messages. And today's musical messages are coming from the artist Líbíanca and the song People. Let's see what Líbíanca and her divine realm is giving on the intention and communication artistically of it all. But not only artistically, we also got some spiritual messages up in here, some messages from Líbíanca's spirit and some messages coming through her spirit from her divine realm, indeed divine realm itself. Okay, and without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Did you look for me? Hey! So if this song has been heavily on your playlist, heavily on your mind, heavily on your heart and your spirit, or you are just being met with this song, nothing is a coincidence. And art, yeah, honestly, is often always that deep. Because art in all of its forms, it's very spiritual. And we are spiritual beings, and we are the ones who make the art. And if you look around at Mother Earth, you see quite a bit of our divine realms art. And we know words make mind. We know words have powers and cast spells and send messages. And music is definitely no exception. Okay, so with all that said, I got 2 cards here. And for the one on the left, I ask, what are the messages through the song People that Líbíanca is conveying to us both mindfully and mindlessly from her spiritual and physical being? So spiritual self and her human self as well. That would be representing the card on the left. And for the card on the right, that is straight at the divine realm. You know what I'm talking about? The messages that the divine realm, her divine realm, the divine realm as it is as a whole is sending to us through her, through this song. Okay, child, let's go ahead and tap into it. I want to start off, first of all, by doing a bit of decoding of the cover art for this song. So over in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, we have a little box of said cover art. And in the bottom left hand corner of said cover art, we have Líbíanca's name. Right across from it, over in the right hand corner of the cover art, we have the song name, People. We also have a rather blurry, abstract, smudged-esque visual of Líbíanca in the center of the photo, the art. And in the background, we see rather blurry, smudged out, abstract forms of people. So it's as if she's in a crowd. There's very dark coloring, negative space, if you will, consuming a good bit of the imagery. And then we have pops of color from her blouse, which we know that this is her torso here, but it's only a percentage of her torso, specifically the part that is her chest and her shoulders. And we get up to her neck and we got her face and we can see her hair, but her hair is rather blended in with the rest of the negative space that is surrounding her. So let me talk a little bit about that real quick, right fast. So the colors on her blouse, we got red, yellow, a bit of orange, and blue. And y'all, you see that matching, you know, one of the cards more than the other, but her blouse is definitely matching the color scheme of the cards and my journal that's in the background, low-key, high-key. Okay, not a coincidence at all. Anywho, so we have her chest and her shoulders here, and her neck is very prominent in the photo as well, which all definitely gives me heart chakra, especially being that it is the chest and the shoulder. So it's definitely bringing in a etheric heart chakra energy here too. Work that needs to be done in that area. We also have the color pink and the color green in the cards, reaffirming and confirming that. And all that being said, real quick, right fast, this is some heart chakra things concerning the expression specifically of emotion. There are a lot of emotions that need to be expressed, especially being the fact that in the photo, her neck is the most prominent. If you also look at the King of Wands card present, and that King of Wands card, like I said, is representing her spiritual self and her physical self, her human self, the messages that she's mindlessly and mindfully sending through the song. And if you look at her posture and her positioning on her cover art, and look at the posture and positioning of the King of Wands on this card, it is very reminiscent of one another. It is very similar, even down to the prominence of the neck and the positioning of the head. And with that being said, I'm also getting a message that there is some shadow work and some reflection to be done concerning a relationship that you have with your father as well. Some of you who are resonating with this, and you know, the person who also suggests this song, but potentially, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest on the flow. But there are some father dynamic, I don't know if it's issues or just some things that need to be unpacked and expressed and reevaluated, but it is also causing turmoil. I'm also hearing heartburn. Some people that are resonating with this message and with this song have been experiencing heartburn, and that is literally, if not heartburn, like some type of like I'm getting anxiety also, and potentially like in the recent past couple of days, it's probably scared the shit out of you a little bit. Your heart randomly slowing down and speeding up. All of that is physical manifestations of suppressed emotion going on in your heart chakra and in your throat chakra. But in your throat chakra specifically, because the heart chakra issue is that we're having a hard time actually expressing our emotions, okay? So getting into, before I say the message, off the channel message that's coming through from the song lyrics, 1 second. Her hair, remember I said it looks like her hair is blending in and bleeding in with the rest of the negative space. That particular terminology is not coming out of me by any coincidence. It's because it seems like some crown chakra imbalances are going on as a result of this. And literally, as I was going through the color coding of it all, of this reading, I randomly said to myself that, oh, because I wasted green ink on my hand, but it showed up, it's black. It looked black, but I'm like, no, this is green. And so I'm like, well, green is a shade of black. When you really, like, if you understand the composition of colors, green is a shade of black. And then I was like, just like purple and blue. And then I thought about the chakras, and I was like, green and purple are both shades of black. They contain black. The bases of them are black. And so that sent my mind into a rabbit hole. But specifically as it concerns this cover art and this reading and all that, her hair seemingly blending in, her crown is now seemingly becoming consumed by the negative space. Your heart chakra is polluting your throat and your crown chakra, which is inevitably polluting your third eye chakra, causing a bit of distortions, or maybe even just a lack of trust in your own sense of discernment and in your third eye, what you are seeing and what you are experiencing. So getting into the people aspect of it, the name of the song, and also what we see of the people depicted in the cover art. They are smudged out, it's blurry, it's abstract. And paralleling that, Líbíanca in the photo, a lot of her body, a lot of her being seems to be being consumed by the negative space of the photo. And, which means, you know, that means she's not showing up whole. And she's not showing her whole self. And then the people amongst her in the photo are not seen as whole as a result. So it makes me bear the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg in this situation? Have you been having a hard time seeing yourself clearly because you don't see other people clearly? Or are you having a hard time seeing yourself clearly because you are suppressing and shrinking yourself? Therefore, you're having a hard time seeing other people clearly. So that's something to think about and ponder and unpack. Okay, so getting into the lyrics of the song, specifically the lyrics where she says, did you check on me? Did you look for me? Did you notice me? Channel messages coming through for that. The first thing that came to my mind is, did you ask for help? Did you express what you were going through? Did you let your loved ones know that you're having drinking issues over the past couple of days? Now, let's note that this song is Líbíanca also giving us insight into her struggles with cyclothymia. So it is a mental health condition that deals with extreme highs and lows. Not this, but that it can be explained simply, and don't take it simple, but just to put it in simple terms for people, it is somewhat of a, I don't want to say mild because I don't want to like undermine it or underestimate it or whatever, but it's a mild form of bipolar disorder. And, you know, depending on experience and whatnot, it can enhance or evolve, if you will, into bipolar disorder. And so I do know when it comes to conditions of that nature, it can be, or at least feel, paralyzing to try to express what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you're going through. At the same time, it definitely is a mind thing, and we combat mind things with questions. So a lot of people tend to project and question others, and you know, it's a few tough love messages in here. I'm not gonna lie, it's a few tough love messages in here. And I just want to be clear that there is no like shade or, you know, slight to anybody that is dealing with like vigorous mental health issues. The point of the matter is, once you recognize that there's an issue, you have to then start making a choice to seek help and not give up on yourself. So if you've been having a hard time with giving up on yourself as it concerns expressing yourself, as it concerns asking for help, as it concerns committing to self-care, mental health included, physical health included, as it concerns making sure you're staying up on your appointments, making sure that you're watching what you eat, watching, you know, how much you indulge and all of that. If you're having a hard time or have been having a hard time, you have a pattern of having a hard time not neglecting yourself and your own feelings and your own needs, or just giving up on yourself and giving up on what you want and need for yourself, your divine realm is tapping in, and this song is greeting you now with messages to ask yourself, what happened specifically that made you say, more than likely as a child, that your needs and desires and your feelings do not matter? Because you're going to have to unpack that in order to break the chain on your mind that says it's something wrong with expressing yourself, or that you have to be paralyzed by fear and angst and uncertainty and anxiety behind simply expressing what you feel and asking for help and letting people know where you really are in life, so that the people that truly are for you can see you clearly and see you fully and help you put the pieces together. Because closed mouths don't keep fed, honey. And scared money don't make no money. And so let's tap into the card on the left, the King of Wands, representing the mindful and mindless messages coming from the human and spiritual selves of Líbíanca. So we got the King of Wands here. We got blue, purple, red, yellow, a yellowish orange at that. So we are dealing with fire sign energy. And so those of you that are having to unpack father things, you or your father figure could be a fire sign. And so the King of Wands is also representing you or that individual specifically. And what this is about is being active in the expression of our emotions. And that's been coming up a lot in different ways lately. But specifically here, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna spit it straight out. Picking up a lot of passive aggression. And the King of Wands definitely loves to pop out when people are having a hard time breaking the bad habit of passive aggression. Now, there's a time and a place for everything. But also with that being said, it's a time and a place now to get active as opposed to passive. And one thing about fire signs, both male and female, fire signs tend to be very verbal about what they feel, what they want, what it is, and what it's gonna be. They likes and dislikes. And they also don't wait for permission. They are not usually worried about what other people are thinking and feeling when it comes to their comfort, their convenience, and their safety, and also their progress in life. And fire signs, it fluctuates, but for the most part, fire signs are ruled by the solar plexus. And when you suppress emotions, specifically anger, that stuff can eat you alive, especially as a fire sign. It will start to show up in your career, in your money specifically, and as well as in your relationships and in your relationships with yourself. And you start to get into a lot of self-saboteur behavior, usually in the form of sporadic anger. It get into a point where it's very tick, tick, boom, not dealing with the emotions. And then when you feel an ounce of emotion as things get on down the line, you want to immediately go to the extremities of expression because everything is now built up, okay? All that to say, evolved fire signs tend to have that knowledge that if I don't verbalize what I'm feeling right now, like specifically for myself as a Leo, I often have to speak out. Oh my gosh, I want to hit this lady with my buggy. I want to go upside this woman's head with this teapot. I want to drag her in the middle of the street. I have to actively say it and express that and get that out so that I don't end up mindlessly acting on it, on that person, or let alone on somebody else on down the line that didn't deserve it, or end up acting out on myself just on some casual stuff. Not saying I got thoughts of self-harm, but when you suppress anger, and that's anybody as a human being, when you suppress anger, at some point it has to come out. And it's either going to come out on everybody outside of yourself, or you're going to end up directing it at yourself, whether it's violently, emotionally, or your body literally starting to turn on you because it's bogged down with anger. And its messages here definitely to sweat it out, sweat it out, sweat it out. So some of you may need to go to a sauna. Definitely, that would like really help. That's something that could help you get started, at least if you feel like your passive aggression or habit of suppression is like really that deep rooted that it's really hard for you to just jump into the active part of it. Starting off with a sauna or hot yoga of some sort would definitely be a good way to kick it off, because it's gonna make you sweat. And so while a lot of the time it's best to start inside and then let it flow to the outside work, but in those particular people's cases, because it's so deep rooted, y'all would need to start physically and then it, domino effect to the inside. So like I said, starting out with a sauna, the sauna will do all the work to trigger your body to do the work for you. So, you don't even have to like exert your mind or no shit. You just sit there and let your body do what it does, because, you know, once you start to feel that heat, your body has a mechanism to sweat. So experiencing that will also help you gain a greater understanding of how emotions work. When you feel an emotion, your heart, your mind, your spirit has a mechanism to sweat it out, to let it out. It's just a multitude of ways of doing it, and then society and all of that, makes it a lot harder than it has to be, and makes us make it a lot harder than it has to be. But once you get past the sauna part, if you don't need the sauna part and you just want to get straight into it, definitely start a workout regimen. Take a fighting class. Take some kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, boxing, martial arts. Take some fighting classes, or do a workout boot camp or whatever. There are also, and child, I'll link the pages on YouTube down below. A lot of pages that do the dance workout stuff. We got twerk aerobics, we got hip hop aerobics. It's all types of stuff on YouTube too, to get you dancing, shaking a leg, and all of that stuff will also help you sweat it out. But also, you know how they be saying, you rolling that thing and you working out, opening and healing your sacral chakra. But dance also heals and opens and balances your roots and solar plexus chakra as well. Helps you build confidence, because it helps you see and feel and experience all the possibilities and capabilities of your body in unison and harmony, and rhythm with your mind and your heart. Yes, so not only King of Wands energy, but that brings in Queen of Wands energy as well. And clearing out all that muck from your solar plexus and your heart chakra is going to help it domino effect into your upper chakras, and that's going to help decalcify your pineal gland some more, decalcify your third eye, decalcify your crown chakra, and all that. I just heard that some of y'all have been having some headaches of some sort, like head pounding periodically. Nothing, I don't hear anything like major or agonizing, but just like slight little sharp pain, short little palpitations or whatever. I'm sensing that, and that's basically like your body is trying to tell you that you got some things that need to be purged, that need to be let out. Also, Miss Lady that suggested the video, I don't know if you suggested a song. I don't know if you want me to say your name here or not. If you want the tag, I'll put it in the comments, put it in the description box, whatever, what have you. But we was talking about rec rooms, going to the gun range, all of that. And so for others of you that are resonating with this message as well, that is something that you can do as well. You can make your own rec room safely, but you can make your own rec room with junk and old glass bottles and things of that nature that you're not using anymore, that you don't want anymore. You can go to a rec room. You can go to the gun range. Let off steam. Let off steam. Let off steam. You got to get that stuff up out of there. And you honestly, you don't even have to necessarily express what you're feeling to the people that have pissed you off, made you mad, hurt you, whatever. You don't necessarily have to express it to them, but you need to express it. You need to get it out. You need to let off that steam. And real quick, right fast, we got the card to the right, the white horse. And this is not going to take me long because much of the message of this card has already been channeled through me up to this point. Howsoever, this card over here, the white horse, number 3 by Paul Gowan, it is representing the divine realms messages through the song People by Líbíanca. And this is kind of the other side of the coin as it concerns the lyrics. And this is mostly for the people who may feel like, well, I do ask for help. I have asked for help, or I asked for help a whole lot in the past and it got me nowhere. I expressed myself in the past and they made me the bad guy. I did this and that, or, whatever. You feel like you've tried all that at some point and it didn't work. It rejected you. And so you're like, well, I don't see that working now if it didn't work then, or, you know, whatever, what have you. The white horse. So we have a red horse and we have a white horse. The white horse is getting water, enjoying the little, you know, kiddie pool lake type, pond type situation. And then in the background, and this is kind of giving Eight of Cups energy in a way, but in a different way. I'm gonna explain. But in the background, you have a woman riding off naked on a red horse. And through the lyrics, like I just explained, and the lyrics that I mentioned earlier specifically, just in case you need a reminder, were, did you check on me? Did you look for me? Did you notice me? Because those were the channel lyrics, you know. There are more, and I will do a deep dive on this song and the artist, but we're focusing on those lyrics specifically here. For this particular part of the message, not the whole thing, but for this particular part of the message, we're focusing on those lyrics. Did you check on me? Did you look for me? Did you notice me? So, the other side of the message is what I was saying earlier about not giving up on yourself, but elaborated and extended into, bear with me, because this is a tough love message here. And I know how some of the girls like to tussle. But some of you have been dealing with a victim, damsel in distress type of mentality and haven't realized it. And it's because you don't function in it the way that the stereotypical understanding of functioning in it is. And in simple terms, you don't see yourself as like a Daphne from Scooby-Doo, always getting scooped up and somebody gotta come rescue you, or Princess Peach from Mario, somebody always gotta come save you and all of that. It's not that type of damsel in distress. It's more of a spiritual type of damsel in distress. Meaning that you all have been kind of functioning in a false sense of faith, where that white horse is representing you all kind of just waiting for a shoe to drop, waiting for resolutions to fall out of the sky, waiting for certain things to just fix itself. You're waiting for God to fix it. You're waiting for your divine realm to just snap a finger and fix it. But there's a particular shedding that has to happen, a particular enlightenment that has to happen. And your divine realm is waiting for you to tap into that King of Wands energy. Don't worry about that white horse. Stop waiting on that white horse. Hop up on the red horse. You see, the King of Wands also has on red. Hop up on that red horse, which is also your masculine energy, and get active in saving yourself. I can't remember who said it, but it's a saying that's like, if you in hell or something like that, if you in hell, you gonna have to keep walking through hell in order to get out. Just sitting there ain't gonna help you. And so that's kind of what it's giving. Anger is a whisker, if you will, like a cat's whisker. Anger is the whisker of our masculine energy. Anger lets us know how and when to defend ourselves, how and when to fix our own shit, how and when to save ourselves. And that is what your divine realm is trying to bring to your attention, and is honestly dragging you all through a journey of learning how to save yourself. Child, for some of y'all, that might sound like, I know you fucking lying. But it's necessary, because there's a pathology going on here. And that's why your divine realm has you on a very specific journey and has you at a very specific crossroad to really make a decision for yourself and really save yourself. Activate your masculine energy. Activate that King of Wands. Because the King of Wands is right side up. Like, there's always a right and a wrong way to do things. So there's no need to fear your own anger, fear your own emotions, because there's always a plethora of high vibrational options to express your emotions and to use your masculine energy. And with that being said, many of us, especially in the Black and people of color community, many of us may have a hard time grasping that on a subconscious level, that there are right, non-chaotic ways of using our masculine energy, because we have so many chaotic examples of men and masculine energy that we're told is supposed to get us ahead in life and, you know, this and that, but it really ends up harming us and doing more detriment in the end. And that's a part of the journey, also having to flip and transmute and clean up all that. It's some sins of the father type things going on. So definitely also get some knowledge on the history of your father, the truth of what really, you know, of his story, basically. Your father figures, your uncles, whatever, what have you. Really take note and reflection on their conflict resolution skills. Not just now to this day, but also in the past. And it's going to make more sense to you. It's going to bring about more clarity to you as to why you have handled things the way that you have. And also why maybe you haven't handled some things that you need to handle. So with all that being said, let me just specifically implement that and kind of reiterate this White Horse card. The divine messages through this song. It's all about, you got to rescue yourself. You got to save yourself. You got to activate an unconditional love for yourself that is protective, like the King of Wands, specifically Leo, because male Leos, evolved male Leos, even unevolved male Leos, honestly, but evolved male Leos specifically are very protective of themselves and the people that they are attached to, they have relationships with, that are around them, because they see themselves in such a high light that whoever they have around them in their intimate space, whoever they love, they see them in such a high light as well, that they will go just as hard for their loved ones as they do for themselves. But they know that they can't do that for their loved ones if they ain't doing it for themselves, which is why they always do it for themselves first. And it might sound crazy, it might sound selfish if you don't, you know, have that thorough understanding of wholeness just yet, but you literally have to be a fighter for yourself, an unconditional fighter for yourself, meaning not giving up on yourself just because people, you know, made you the bad guy in the past, or not giving up on expressing yourself just because people gaslight or people are manipulative or this, that, and the third. Your divine realm sent this song to y'all specifically because they need for you to tap into, access, and keep by your side the unconditional fighter for yourself. And see, and right before I wrap this up, child, speaking of which, you may not be able to see it clearly on the way I got things set up so that you can be able to read. But the King of Wands on this card also has a cape. And the message coming through to me for that, for y'all, is what I just said, but in a different way. Y'all want real bad to be, for some of y'all, Captain Save-A-Ho. But y'all want to be superheroes. Y'all want to save the world. And it's meant for y'all to save the world, honestly. But you've got to save yourself. You've got to access that inner superhero that caters to saving you. I'm gonna say that again. You got to access that inner superhero that caters to saving and protecting you. Child. Okay. And I would definitely be doing a deep dive on this song and the artist, because it's honestly in the process of me building up to just doing this particular part of the reading in the video. There were so many messages coming up and so many prophetic discussion topics that came up looking at the video, researching the artist, decoding the song. Because like I said, we only really focused on the hook in this reading, and we only focused on the messages from the artist and the divine realm. But it's so much more. And also, I even feel like it's a chance that certain people that the song is resonating with, I might not have even got to get to y'all's messages in just this video. So with that being said, also, if you had a hard time getting clarity from this video or resonating, connecting all the dots, don't fret, because more of your messages or your specific resonating messages may come up in the deep dive if it didn't come up here. And child, I will make a playlist for all of the artists that I do this with as well. Make sure you go through my vids and see other artists that I have done this with, okay? I know there are some on Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Solange, Summer Walker, Lizzo, Cardi B, a little taste, you know what I'm saying? I got some changs, okay? So make sure you're checking it out, and I'm gonna make a playlist. I'm gonna leave some links in the comments, all that. But with all that being said, if I do say so myself, darling, I have milked this cow dry, and I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotas for the next time. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you all light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.